Hi everyone, this is Edmund from International.com, and in this short video, I'm going to share with you everything you need to know about fats in general. So what's covered in this video? First of all, we're going to discuss about why do you need fats, the types of fats, how much do you need, how about cholesterol, what's LDL cholesterol, what's HDL cholesterol, steps to keep your cholesterol under control, recommended fat intake, dangers of excess fat intake, and lastly, fat calculation. So why do you need fats? So you'll be surprised to know that fat is part of every cell, and excess energy is stored in the form of fats to provide energy to our body after the carbohydrates have been depleted. And it also supplies essential fatty acids necessary for proper growth and healthy skin. Fats are also necessary for the transportation of fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. It is also a more concentrated fuel than carbohydrates and supply 9 kilocalories or 38 kilojoules of energy per gram. So what are the types of fats? There are mainly two types. One is saturated, the other one is unsaturated. So saturated fats are generally solid at room temperature. They are obtained from animal sources like lard, butter, cheese. And it's important for you to limit your intake of these fats because high intake may be associated with increased risk of heart disease. Unsaturated fats are generally liquid at room temperature, and they are a healthier alternative to saturated fats. They can be obtained from plant sources like vegetable oils such as olive, sunflower, and oily fishes like salmon, mackerel, and sardines, and they include monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats as well. The last one is trans fat. So trans fat are formed from hydrogenated liquid oils. They are bad for your health because they increase the bad cholesterol known as LDL cholesterol and reduce the HDL or good cholesterol in your body. And they are commonly found in fast food or junk food. So they also increase your risk of heart disease, and people who consume a lot of trans fat are at a greater risk of developing type 2 diabetes as well. Therefore, it's important for you to reduce your consumption of fast or junk food and adopt a balanced diet with vegetables, fruits, grains, legumes, and small portions of lean meat or dairy products in your diet. So how much fat do you need? Typically, 15 to 30% of your daily calorie intake should come from fats. More than or equal to 50% should be from vegetable oils, rich in essential fatty acids. How about cholesterol? Many people have a lot of misconceptions of cholesterol, thinking that they are bad for your health. But in reality, cholesterol is actually found in every cell in your body, and it is produced by your liver and intestine. You need it for human life and also for vitamin D formation as well. It is found in large amounts in your brain for insulating nerve tissues and also found in your spinal cord as well. It is responsible for the manufacturing of adrenal and sex hormones like estrogen and testosterone. It is also converted to bile acid, the substance that helps digest fats. It also helps to waterproof your body cells. Since majority of the cholesterol that your body requires is produced by your liver, excessive cholesterol consumption will typically come from your diet, mainly from animal sources, such as these that you see in the photo. You'll be surprised to know that cholesterol is not present in plant foods like fruits, vegetables, or vegetable oils, which is why they are recommended to be part of your diet. And the thing about cholesterol is that it cannot just simply flow in your water-based bloodstream. They need to be carried and transported in special protein packages called lipoprotein. There are typically two types of cholesterol. One is what they call bad cholesterol, LDL, and the other type is what they call good cholesterol, called HDL cholesterol. So what's LDL cholesterol? LDL stands for low density lipoprotein, and it is the major cholesterol carrier in your bloodstream. If there's an excess amount of LDL circulating in our blood, it can slowly accumulate in the walls of our arteries. It will combine with other substances and lead to the formation of plaque, as you can see in the diagram there, which can clog up the arteries feeding the heart and brain. So this will inhibit flow of blood to our vital organs as the artery walls become less flexible and able to adjust to the flow of blood. This condition is known as atherosclerosis, and the formation of a clot near the plaque can inhibit flow of blood to part of the heart and result in a heart attack. Similarly, if the clot is found to be inhibiting blood flow to part of the brain, it can result in a stroke. So this is no fun, okay? So a high level of LDL, cholesterol, 160 mg/dl and above, reflects an increased risk of heart disease. And LDL cholesterol is also known as bad cholesterol because of the negative health effects that it can create. So what's HDL cholesterol? HDL is known as high density lipoprotein, and it carries 1/3 to 1/4 of our blood cholesterol. It transports cholesterol away from the arteries and back to the liver, either to be reused, converted to bile acid, or disposed of in the form of bile. It slows the growth of plaque by removing excess cholesterol from them, which is why it is known as good cholesterol. Low HDL level, less than 40 mg/dl, indicates a greater risk of health issues like stroke. Therefore, it is wise for you to stop smoking because it reduces your HDL level, and engage in more exercise because it increases your HDL level as well. So here are some steps to keep your cholesterol under control. Cholesterol can be obtained in two ways. The first way is from our liver, which produces about 1000 mg a day, though the amount may vary at times. So another 400 to 500 mg or more can come directly from the food, depending on the amount of saturated fat and cholesterol eaten. It would be good to know that food that is high in cholesterol is not necessarily high in fat or saturated fat, and vice versa. So saturated fats are the chief culprit in raising blood cholesterol levels, which is why it is important, to watch your food intake. For people who have inherited tendencies toward high blood cholesterol levels, it may be wise for you to adopt a low cholesterol or low saturated fat diet to see whether it can lower the blood cholesterol level. If option 1 doesn't work, you may want to consider option 2, which is to consult a doctor for cholesterol lowering medications to keep your cholesterol level under control. In fact, the American Heart Association recommends a healthy individual to consume no more than 300 mg of cholesterol a day. And for people who are at risk of heart disease, you may want to lower your cholesterol consumption to less than 200 mg a day. So moving on to the recommended fat intake. So saturated fats should contain no more than 10% of your calories, and saturated fat can be mainly found in animal products such as fatty meats, butter, whole milk dairy products, and egg yolk. The next category of fats would be polyunsaturated fats. So you should consume no more than 10% of such fats in your calorie intake. Examples would be your omega-3 in fish and seafood, and omega-6 in vegetable oils such as corn, safflower, and soya bean. So monounsaturated fats should cover about 10% of your calories. These can be found in olive oil, peanut oil, sunflower oil, and avocados. Why this ratio? First of all, saturated fats seem to stimulate the formation of LDL, which is bad cholesterol. Unsaturated oils appear to be helpful in decreasing total cholesterol and LDL levels. Monounsaturated fats may actually have a favorable effect on serum cholesterol and ultimately on coronary heart disease risk as well. And more importantly, they have been shown to lower cholesterol and LDL without affecting the good HDL levels. So some great examples of monounsaturated fat sources would be olive oil, avocado, and nuts. How to determine your desired fat intake? The first step is to go for a blood test to analyze your total cholesterol level along with your HDL and LDL ratio. Other factors to consider would be your family history, whether your family has a history of heart issues or cholesterol issues, whether you have diabetes, whether you are smoking, whether you are obese or if you have high BP. So all these can influence the amount of fat that you should be taking. What are the dangers of excess fat intake? Your body usually can cope with a small increase in fat intake. If more than 30% of your calorie intake comes from fat, this is considered an excess, okay? So to get an excess of fat in your diet, you have to eat junk food or even eggs as well, okay? Because eggs are very high in fats, especially cholesterol as well. That's why you got to look out on your consumption of eggs. Excessive fat consumption is associated with degenerative diseases such as vascular disease. It is also associated with heart disease, arthritis, obesity, and even cancer as well. Moving on to the last part, how do you calculate your fat intake? As a guideline, less than 30% of your total calories in your diet should come from fat. So based on a 2,000 calories a day diet, this is about 67 grams of fat every day. Of course, if you consume less than 2,000 calories, you can adjust the ratio accordingly. 1 gram of fat provides 9 calories. So total calories from fat can be calculated by calculating the number of grams of fat in a serving on the label, and then you multiply it by 9, since 1 gram of fat is 9 calories, okay? For instance, 1 ounce of potato chips has 10 grams of fat. So the amount of calories from fat will be 90, which is 10 grams times 9 calories. So if the potato chips have a total of 150 calories, the fat contributes 60% of this total, which is 90 divided by 150. So if more than 30% of the calories are from fat, that food is considered high in fat. The bottom line is, you need fats in your diet for various health reasons, and no more than 30% of your daily calorie intake should come from fat. And lastly, more than or 50% of your fats should come from vegetable oils, which are rich in essential fatty acids. Would you like to learn more about nutrition? Simply visit yourinternational.com/nutrition-101 for more great information. And please subscribe and click the like button if you enjoyed this video. Thanks! Here are other videos on nutrition that you can visit to learn more.